Hello everyone, this is Dr. Jyoti Saxena and I welcome you to my new video on biochar filters, the low-cost solution to clean water under my channel Biotech Eade. And today we'll see how the biochar works and why it is becoming a breakthrough in wastewater technology. So before going into the details, let's see what is biochar. So biochar is a carbon-rich charcoal which is made from the biomass like rice, husk, coconut shells, sawdust, crop residues or any plant residues for that matter can be taken, and these residues or coconut shells, whatever is present in abundance and which is going just a waste, that can be used for making the biochar. This is produced by pyrolysis. So pyrolysis is a kind of thermal decomposition. So here at very high temperature, the biomass is heated and the atmosphere is kept low oxygen. So low oxygen atmosphere and very high temperature. That is pyrolysis. Here the temperature is around 350 to 700 degrees centigrade. So you can see the range is 350 to 700, which is quite high. And here actually there are two very important features of biochar, and these are, it has very high surface area, which is very important for us in the wastewater industry, and the other is functional groups. So if we take higher temperature, then higher means towards 700. So when the temperature is higher, the higher surface area type of biochar is formed, and when the low temperature is kept for making the biochar, then in that case the more functional groups present on the biochar surface. So what temperature you are using for making the biochar, that influences the quality of the biochar. And then this process can be fast or slow. You can give the temperature very fast and it can be given very slowly. So fast or slow, both are possible. This biochar is a lightweight material with millions of tiny pores, and because of the presence of many pores, the porosity is there, and that makes the biochar excellent for the filtration, because in filtration also you use different membranes or whatever we use, they have a typical pore size, and so pore size is very important. So here different millions of tiny pores are there, so that makes it very good for the filtration. And it also has large surface area, around 200 to 800 meters square per gram, depending on the temperature. So at what temperature the biochar has been made, depending upon that, it may have different type of surface area, but generally the surface area is very high. And it contains several oxygen containing and carbon based functional groups on the surface. As I just told you that the functional the surface chemistry is very important in case of biochar. The surface has many different type of functional groups. So different oxygen containing or carbon based functional groups are there. And in biochar, see, we can make the general type of biochar taking any waste from the nature and using the pyrolysis, but these days we are actually modifying it, and the modification is done using the acids or alkali treatment, or the metal doped biochar is also formed these days. So different kind of modifications are possible in biochar also. The metal doped biochar is becoming very popular. It has many benefits when we use the biochar in the wastewater industry. And besides these alkali acid treatment and metal doped biochar, magnetic biochar, the polymer coated biochar, the carbon dioxide activated biochar, carbon nanotube composites or nano biochar, these are also a kind of modifications which have been done in biochar. So all these are used in wastewater industries. and it supports the microbial life because because the presence of pores makes the large surface area here the microorganism can grow, and these microorganisms grow just like a biofilm. So it supports, actually the biochar supports the growth of the microorganisms. Now here you can see this first diagram where you can see this black powder like structure. This is actually biochar when it is formed after the pyrolysis. And here in the second one you can see different type of surface functional groups like carboxylic, peroxide, amine. So different type, phenolic, different type of functional groups are there. Now let's see how biochar cleans wastewater. So biochar removes the pollutants using mainly four mechanisms. Mainly four mechanisms are there, and we'll see one by one. First one is the adsorption. So here, as we are saying it again and again, that there are many pores in the biochar. So they act like a sponge, and because of the presence of these pores, all kind of heavy metal, the dyes, the pesticides, pharmaceutical, means all type of pollutants, they can be trapped inside the pores. So that's how the adsorption takes place. So this is the first one. Now the second is ion exchange. Here the surface charges on the biochar bind toxic ions. You know what happens here, the ion exchange kind of thing takes place, and on the surface of the biochar there are different positive and negative ions, and similarly the pollutants also have the toxic ions which have certain charges. So these are exchanged. So that's how the ion exchange method helps in cleaning the wastewater. The third one is the catalytic activity. Here the metal doped biochar can break down the complex pollutants which are otherwise very difficult to be broken into smaller molecules. For example, dyes are one of the complex pollutants. So these can be used to make the wastewater clean. And the last one is the filtration. Here the pores act as the physical barrier for the suspended solids. So whatever the suspended solids are there, they can be filtered through the biochar very easily because of the presence of these pores. And then the last one is the biofilm support. Although this is not one of the main four mechanisms, but this also kind of help in cleaning the biochar, and that is the presence of microorganism. And here in biochar the microorganisms are present in the form of biofilm. That means the microorganism, they are not present freely, but they actually stick to each other, and they are sticking on the biochar also. So they make a film like a structure, and they help in reduction of BOD and COD, that is biological oxygen demand and chemical oxygen demand. So this may also support the cleaning of wastewater. Now let's see how biochar filters are used. So one way the biochar filters are used are the gravity filters. So these are nothing else but the simple column which are packed with the biochar, and because biochar is very easily made and it is made from the waste, so it is very low cost. And here also you are not using any big machinery or anything. So these are just the simple columns. So it is low cost, and it is very good for using in the rural areas, and also for the household grey water. So grey water is something which is the water which is coming from the kitchens, not from the kitchen, sorry, which is coming from the bathrooms and all. So that is grey water, and for small STPs also this is very good, these filters. And then the second is the packed bed reactor. In the packed bed reactor, mostly the activated carbon is used, but instead of using the activated carbon, which is not that cheap, we can use the biochar. So then it becomes more cheaper. Then there are hybrid systems also. In the above two, we were using only biochar. But here you see we are using biochar plus sand plus gravel. And then we are making this hybrid filter system. And we can also use biochar plus moving bed biofilm reactor. Moving bed biofilm reactor is otherwise also very good and very popular in wastewater industry. So along with that, if we use the biochar, it will make it even more efficient. And biochar for sludge treatment. If you have seen my video on the sewage treatment, then you must be knowing that the sludge treatment is very important at the end of the wastewater treatment. So here, if the biochar is used, it absorbs moisture, because in sludge there is lots of water, and dewatering is a very important feature when we do the sludge treatment. So this biochar is absorbing the moisture, and also it reduces the odor and the pathogens. So this can be used for the sludge treatment as well. Now let's see what are the advantages. This is low cost, of course, because we are just making it from any residue, plant residue, anything which is waste in the nature. We are using that, and just the pyrolysis is to be done. So that's why one advantage is that it is low cost. Then this is carbon negative, which is very, very important feature. Very few substances may be carbon negative, and this is something when you capture the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and you store it. So this biochar has this capability of storing the carbon dioxide for long years. Not just few years, but years after years they can store. These biochar can store the carbon. So this is known as carbon negative. It can reduce the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. The next is high absorption capacity. Here, when the pollutants are there around the biochar, it can absorb large amount of biochar, and sometimes even more pollutants can be trapped as compared to its own weight. So it has high absorption capacity. Then works with microbes, as we already discussed that microorganisms can grow very well on the surface of the biochar inside the pores. They make the biofilm, and these microorganisms can help in degradation of the pollutants. So both biochar along with the microbes, they can work very well together. And this is natural and biodegradable, because here no chemicals are used. So just natural, and it can be biodegraded also. Easy to regenerate. That means that this biochar can be used several times after several cycles. It can trap the pollutants, and then afterwards we can just wash it or heat it, or some kind of chemical treatment can be done, and then it becomes just as good as the new one, and it can again be used for wastewater treatment. So that is easy to regenerate. And this is suitable for decentralized treatment. So these days everyone is talking more about the decentralized treatment. So this is very good, because not the small units can be formed, and no big machinery is needed. So it can be taken anywhere, and especially this is good for the rural areas or the suburbs. So there it can be used for the decentralized treatment of water. Then there are some limitations also. So performance depends on the biomass type. Initially we said that when after the pyrolysis the biochar is formed, so at that time what kind of biomass you have taken, that is very, very important. The biomass may be of several types. So the performance will depend on what type of biomass you have taken for making the biochar. It gets saturated and then the regeneration is needed. If you keep on using the same biochar for a long time, then the pollutants will be absorbed and the pores will be clogged and it will be saturated, and then you have to regenerate it, as we said, that by washing and all. The next limitation is it is not suitable for very high tedious water. So if in the wastewater we are getting such type of water which has very high tedious, then it may not be very suitable, because it can it can separate the pollutants very easily, but not the ones which are dissolved in the water. Oil and grease can clog the pores, because we know that biochar has very porous structure, which is a good quality of the biochar. But when there is lots of grease and oil present in the wastewater, it can clog the pores, it can block the pores, and then naturally its efficiency will be low. Then large scale engineering is still evolving. Mostly this can be used very efficiently at the small scale, at the decentralized level, but for the large scale use, lots of engineering is or you say lots of modifications are still needed. You have to do the standardization, so all the parameters have to be standardized. So all that kind of work is still going on, and it is still evolving in that research phase. And the quality varies between the producers, because if we are getting the biochar from different sources, then the quality may vary, because it depends on different type of parameters, what temperature you have taken, what kind of waste biomass you have taken for making it, and whether it is a slow or fast process. So all that actually affect the quality of the biochar. So if you are getting it from different sources, then the quality may vary, and then it will become very difficult to predict anything or to standardize anything. Now the future scope. The future of biochar lies in the modification. Of course, we can use the simple biochar which we are making through the pyrolysis, but as I told you that these days lots of modifications are done. So these modified biochars are much better. They are more efficient. So the future of this, the use of biochar in the wastewater treatment depends on the modifications. Biochar nanocomposites are formed. So nanotechnology is used in making the biochar. Nanobiochar is formed, which is much more efficient. It can absorb the the pollutants very well. So these are going to be very good, and they are probably will be used in future. Then biochar membranes, these are also one of the modifications which are going to see in the future, that along with the membranes the biochar is used. And magnetic biochar is again another modification which is going to be very efficient, because of this magnetic behavior. The separation is also very easy here. And the decentralized wastewater treatment, we already talked about it, that decentralized units which do not need big machineries or energy, so that can be used for the rural areas. And integration with the smart city sanitation, this is also something which is very important here, because the smart city sanitation is something which is sustainable, which is decentralized, which is very efficient, which doesn't have consumption of large amount of energy. So that is the smart city sanitation. So this fits actually very well in this model. So because biochar has all these qualities, so it can be integrated with this model. And the last one is the use in constructed wetlands. In natural wetlands also, the lots of wastewater treatment kind of thing takes place, because there are different type of plants and soil is there, sand is there, so microorganisms are there. So here also the same thing is used, but this is constructed one or the man-made one. So that can also be one of the future scope. Let's see the summary. To summarize, the biochar is a powerful and sustainable tool for wastewater treatment, no doubt about that. It can be sustainable because it is natural, no chemicals are used, very low energy is used here. And its versatility makes it suitable for both low-cost rural systems and also in the advanced industrial applications. It can be used with different type of bioreactors, different moving bed bioreactor and all that. So it can be used for the industrial applications also, and it's good for the rural systems as well. So that is all for this video. Thank you so much, and if you want more topics like this, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.